Hello, this is Scott Leopold with Cooperative Strategies, and this is the Facility Master Planning Scenarios presentation for District 7. This was presented to the community on March 28th at Mandarin High School. I'd now like to turn it over to Dr. Green for a brief introduction video.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Diana Green, Superintendent for Duval County Public Schools. Thank you so much for being here tonight. I want to welcome you and encourage your active participation. Our consultants recently completed a study of each building to evaluate its condition. This Facilities Condition Index report was shared at community meetings throughout the district. Now we are moving into phase 2 of this process, shifting the conversation from past and present to the future. This evening and continuing over the next few weeks, our consultant will share and discuss a set of ideas designed to provide our students with an outstanding educational environment. Because the draft plan involves almost every one of our schools, we will be rolling out segments of the plan of proposed scenarios in each of the 7 school board member districts. You'll be able to see the entire plan outlined in a couple of weeks. I want to reiterate that what is being presented are the consultant's recommendations, and these recommendations are over a 10-year period. We need your input as we work through the details and develop a final plan. Ultimately, I will present the board with a very bold portrait of our future, a future in which public education is firmly established as a tremendous asset for living and learning in Duval County. Since each presentation is by school board member district, you'll only see a segment of the entire plan. I want to point out district level highlights from the draft scenarios, which include construction of 30 new schools as either replacements on site or on new sites. 17 consolidations impacting 42 schools, with children from those schools attending new or renovated school buildings. Any buildings no longer in use as a result of the consolidations would be demolished and the land sold to prevent former schools from becoming future blight. Security upgrades at all schools and removal of the majority of portables from schools across the district. Cutting more than 5,000 student seats from the district's inventory and improving the district's facility utilization rate. I want to re-emphasize that this is a bold and long-term plan over a 10-year period. That's why your input is so important. If you like what you hear, tell us on the survey. If you have concerns, tell us that too. Your input will help us refine this plan and help me make the best possible recommendation to the school board. Thanks again for being here, and I look forward to hearing your input on these initial proposals.
Hello, I am Scott Leopold with Cooperative Strategies, and I will be taking you through the rest of this presentation. I would like to begin by providing some more detail and add some additional points to what Dr. Green has previously mentioned. This plan constructs 30 new schools through a combination of on-site replacements and new sites. This plan also upgrades school security at all facilities. This plan also removes the majority of portables from every campus. This plan performs major repairs to all facilities that are retained. The building age of all the schools in the district would be reduced by a total of 13 years, so the average age would go from 44 years old down to 31 years old. This plan reduces a net of more than 5,000 total seats. This plan performs 17 consolidation packages into new or renovated schools. This impacts 42 current schools that would go into either replacement facilities on their current site, renovations or new facilities or renovated facilities at new locations. This plan would also save millions in annual operational revenue. This plan would increase school utilization from 82 to 86%. This would also provide 27% of the square footage in the district with new buildings. So nearly a fifth of all square footage in Duval County would be new after this plan were to be implemented. And finally, this plan would remove $1.07 billion in backlogged repairs. The total cost to implement this plan would be $1.95 billion. That would be $922 million in improvement, renovations, and additions, and $1.03 billion in new construction. I now would like to go through some terminology that you'll see prevalent throughout this presentation. Enrollment. Enrollment is the number of students attending a school. For planning purposes, we used a 5-year enrollment projection to the 2023-24 school year for each school. Capacity. This is the number of students a campus can hold. It is defined by the state of Florida and does include portables. FISH, or the Florida Inventory of Schoolhouses. This is the state standard that defines school capacity. Utilization is the percentage that is calculated by dividing enrollment by capacity. Facility Condition Index, or FCI. This is the percentage that is calculated by dividing the identified physical deficiencies of a building by its total replacement cost. Consolidation. This is the action of combining 2 or more schools into one campus. This may result in 1 or more schools being vacated. Swing space. In some cases, some vacated campuses may be retained for use as swing space to serve as temporary locations for whole schools to occupy while their schools are being renovated or replaced. This slide provides some more detail on our Facility Condition Index. Again, the FCI is the percentage of the repair costs divided by the total replacement cost of a building. If a facility has a FCI of less than 5%, that is some of the best condition that we have in the county. If the FCI is greater than 65%, that facility would be a candidate for replacement. This slide and the following 2 slides just give us an example of what the utilization looks like at the district-wide level. This map shows every elementary boundary color-coded by its utilization, and this does include portables. So in the dark blues, we have the facilities that are less than 75% utilized, and that includes 43 campuses. We have 3 campuses at the elementary level that are greater than 105% utilized. It should be noted that this map only shows boundaries and their associated utilization, but there are additional magnet schools that may be over or underutilized that are reflected in our data but aren't shown on the map because they don't have boundaries. This slide shows the middle schools. We have 5 campuses that are less than 75% utilized, and then 2 campuses that are more than 105% utilized. And finally, here's the high school map. We have 4 campuses that are less than 75% utilized, and we have 1 campus that is greater than 105% utilized. This slide shows our planned funding for all of these scenarios combined. This is the $1.95 billion broken out by board member district. As you can see, District 4 and District 5 account for nearly 45% of the total allocation. This is because Districts 4 and 5 have the most need. They have the most schools that are the oldest. Other districts like District 1 and District 7, District 2 to an extent, have less of an allocation because they have newer facilities that don't have as much need as Districts 4, 5, and even 3. Now I will begin to go through the detailed scenarios for District 7. The map on the left shows all of the schools in District 7. It should be noted that the boundaries for some schools extend into other districts. The background shaded boundaries denote elementary boundaries. The orange outlines are middle school boundaries. The purple outlines are high school boundaries, and the blue lines denote board member districts. In this area, we construct 1 new replacement school and 2 additional new schools that would be new to the portfolio. We upgrade, again, school safety and security at all facilities that are retained. The building age of all schools is reduced by 6 years, from 25 years old as an average down to 19. 15% of District 7 would be replaced with brand new school buildings, and that's based on square footage. We also perform major repairs to all school facilities that are retained, and we remove the majority of portables. Overall, this increases the capacity in District 7 by 2,327 seats. Our utilization decreases from 91% down to 81%, and we remove $111 million in backlogged repairs. The total costs are $223 million, with $120 million in improvements and renovations, and $103 million in new construction and additions. Now I will go through the replacements, renovations, and additions. It should be noted that not every school is listed on this page because not every school is going to have an extensive renovation or an addition, but I will detail the impacts to all schools on the following slides. Crown Point Elementary is a renovation. Greenland Pines Elementary is also a renovation. Loretto is a replacement on site. We know that there are some historical characteristics of that facility, and those will be taken into consideration. We have a new elementary school and some location to be determined in Southeast Duval to be a relief school for Bartram Springs and other elementary schools in the area. We have a new elementary school at Atlantic Coast, and this is that site that is just north of the high school, and this would be a replacement for J. Allen Axon. Axon was converted to a K2 facility to support Chetts Creek, which is actually in District 2. Atlantic Coast High School would have an addition. The pre-designed fourth classroom pod would be added, and Mandarin High School would have a 32 classroom addition, and that would essentially replace the portables that are there now with one permanent structure. This slide shows detailed data for every school in District 7. You can see our campus name. We also show our current 5-year FCI, and so the greens would indicate facilities that are in good condition. The yellows are kind of getting up there, and then the oranges would be in need of some renovation or perhaps some replacement. We also show our 5-year utilization. This would be what our utilization would be if we did not make any changes. We show our deficiency cost over here, and then our action. And then we show our demolition costs along with renovation costs over here. And so if you look at Loretto, we have it as a replacement. So this almost $1.2 million over here will be for some partial demolition of that facility, and then we show it as a replacement down here on the bottom for $28.2 million almost. And so we'd have just around $30 million to invest in that property to build a new school at Loretto. Over here you see the total costs and then what our resulting utilization is. And so just for an example, looking at Bartram Springs, it's projected to be 116% of capacity. With the new relief school coming online, we just have modeled here 79% utilization with that relief school coming online. And so you can see our utilization if we don't make any changes, and then our utilization after the plans are implemented. And so again, this just shows everything in District 7. That concludes this presentation. Thank you for taking the time to view this. Our project website is currently online. The URL is http://bit.ly/DCPS/FMP. You'll find an online survey along with PDF versions of this presentation. Our survey will remain active until midnight on April 2nd. I would like to reiterate in closing that this is a conceptual plan that, again, this does not occur without an additional funding source. And so there are not any changes associated with this plan that would occur next year or possibly even the year after. And so again, everything that we're talking about is conceptual at this point and is completely dependent on additional funding. And we really are truly here to collect feedback at this point. And so we're looking forward to reviewing that feedback. And again, the survey will remain active until April 2nd.